From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon as more earnings come on in from corporate America, and several misses have been reported. The latest details across the board today. Plus, we have breaking news on job creation, a big number released today. Retail sales also giving big indication as well. Then we have new details from the oil industry. Plus, we have the latest deals on that inflationary front and whether inflation is still going higher or weaker. Plus, the great news for your benefits. Yes, because if inflation goes to track higher, then your benefits go to track higher. I have the latest details across the board on that. Plus, with the JOLTS numbers released minutes ago, the JOLTS, we give indication of what's going to happen tomorrow for that labor numbers. This, my friends, is why you want to get for stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. Done by the President of the United States back in the month of March. These incredible checks are about $100,000. I'll show you how to get them in this recording, as one viewer got nearly 80 checks. Viewers are getting massive sums of money. There's about $100,000 from them. How do you get them? Step 1, become a member. Step 2, go on in this video and subscribe and stay the second half as we go over all these incredible checks at issue. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get them. But today, a lot of major news stories across the board. Major corporate earnings coming in minutes ago, including Uber and Pinterest. Then we have major news from 2 oil manufacturers. Then we have rate hikes. Are they currently priced in the market or not? The latest analysis on that front. Plus, the JOLTSs, the JOLTS, gives us an indication of what's happening tomorrow with those labor numbers coming tomorrow and also on Friday. Treasury yields are falling. Why is that? Simon Property says there's a major demand for retail. Are they right? I'll look at the other companies at issue. And finally, we have the latest controversy about Nancy Pelosi. Why it's confusing the markets. I'll analyze it for you as well. Big checks, big money, big economy, inflation, recession, and also your money. We're going to go over all this and more in a big broadcast from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's America's most watched show at the afternoon. It's Afternoons LALATE, and today we'll be going over recession, inflation, benefit raises, the housing market, unemployment, for stimulus. It's a big show, it's a big afternoon, and the excitement starts right here, right now, as Afternoons LALATE gets underway for August 2nd. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's gorgeous here along the coast as it's finally cooled off here in Santa Monica, California. For August 2nd, major corporate earnings released minutes ago that gives you an indication of how deeply entrenched this recession is. We have a big week upon us. Well, the latest details today, folks, there's a lot of major breaking news today. I'm shocked across the board, including details about whether the retailers are getting back into the retail business or pulling out. We'll go over the latest details on those big 4 stimulus checks across the country, about $100,000. Become a member, go under this video and subscribe. Then join the channel, as hundreds did yesterday. Welcome to all the new members, and stay the second half as we go over all these incredible checks. We'll be looking at the raise of your benefits, why they're impacted so importantly by inflation, and whether inflation is not or is embedded into the markets. Brand new details across the board. And then tomorrow we have the latest numbers on those unemployment, but we have the JOLTSs released minutes ago. Haven't heard it before? No, they're brand new to this channel on all the latest details you need to know about a very big benchmark. You're only hearing it, of course, on LALATE. We start today with the earnings recession. More corporate earnings coming in minutes ago. And it's a collective bag of some companies missing, some companies beating on corporate earnings for second quarter this year. Top and bottom. Top is revenue. Bottom is net income. And top is revenue. Bottom is earnings. And what do we show? Well, we show that Pinterest The social media stock is now up 18% in pre-market trading before the market opened today after it missed. Wait a second. It missed and it's up? Yeah, that's how finicky this market is. It missed on top and missed on bottom, and yet the stock was up 18% as the market opened. Ferrari beat on revenue and also earnings, and of course, that's huge. Uber, meantime, was split. It missed on a major loss, 1.33, which is bigger than expected, but beat on revenue a lot. It beat a lot on revenue. Uber, $8 billion this last quarter compared to 7.39. Huge. The obvious effect of inflation seems to be getting into more drivers on the platform, says its CEO in a commentary today. Meantime, you and I know what we've been looking for this week, especially in these numbers. Guidance. We want to see guidance for the third quarter, the quarter we're in right now. We want to see guidance for the fourth quarter, the next quarter coming on in. Because we all know we're in a recession. We just want to see where this recession's going because it impacts your money. And that guidance was relatively robust for Uber. They gave really good guidance for the third quarter. Ferrari raised guidance as well. Let's jump over to energy companies. BP and Devon Energy beat on top and bottom today, strong quarterly earnings, and they're raising their dividends a lot. So they basically saw it all good across the board. Caterpillar, it's a blue chip stock. It, of course, you know, is the in the giant industrial manufacturing company, and it slid on 1%, its stock initially, after it had mixed results. It delivered $3.18 a share, which was a major beat, but it missed on revenue. So it missed on revenue, but beat on bottom line. That is really fascinating across the board. Why is this so important for you? Because we need to understand how this recession is going. And the best indication of the recession, inflation, your money, is looking at those corporate earnings. As more corporate earnings come on in, we'll be watching them on this channel. It's the biggest week that there was last week, but this week is huge. Why? Because there is so much coming in left and right. The Treasury yields are falling right now ahead of Nancy Pelosi's potential trip to Japan. The 10-year note is dropping no more than 5 basis points. Tomorrow we have those labor numbers. Those labor numbers are coming in tomorrow. We're expecting them to go into 260 again. Number of jobless claims, new jobless claims, have soared dramatically in the U.S. economy, from 140 to 160 to 200, 230, 230, then 251, and finally 260 2 weeks ago. It pulled back a little bit last week at 255. We're going to see in a second why we have indication that the number may be improving. Your benefits are going up a lot. Why? Because inflation. What is the latest details on inflation today? It is not peaked. There's no indication that inflation has peaked. And that lack of inflation peaking means that your benefits are going up, the largest of its generation. Wow, very exciting. Who is this? This is you. We'll go over more about this in a second. What is the latest details on inflation? No real data today on inflation because that data last came in on Friday. It was the PCE, and it's the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, and it's a number released between the CPIs. It showed that it was the highest level of 1981. I know that there's some analysts, even some broadcast analysts, who are on the news this morning saying that inflation has peaked because gasoline has gone down. That's not how it works. And in fact, gasoline has not gone down. When you look at the international price of Brent crude, it's not particularly gone down. It's $110 a barrel, which is really in the middle range. It's not gone down. OPEC Plus meets tomorrow. Remember, I almost forgot. OPEC Plus meets tomorrow. It determines whether to increase capacity or decrease or keep it the same. That could change the inflationary story big. Retail, this is a fascinating story. Take it with a grain of salt. That's what I'm doing. Simon Properties, the biggest mall owner company in the United States, says that the demand for retailers to open new stores is very robust. They reported that the demand for businesses for new retailers is very strong. We see a strong rebound in Vegas and Florida, especially in California, starting to find its legs. Macaric, which is very big as well, reports that leases are up 27% year to date, which is really quite impressive. And then Kimco is cautiously optimistic. What is the major number released minutes ago? That's huge. The major number released minutes ago is the J JOLTS. The jolts. You've never heard it before on this channel. You're hearing it for the first time today because this is the channel that's winning it. This is the channel that gives you the data, and we're going deep in the data. And this is the Department of Labor's Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. It's released monthly. The data was released just minutes ago, and it shows a 605,000 decline in job openings, the biggest since April 2020. So job openings fell in the month of June to a 9-month low, the lowest number we've seen in 9 months. And it also meant that there were just less jobs across the board. Okay, so that's the number. Let's go over the analysis. The analysis is very confusing on this one. The analysis is mixed. We have Robert Frick, corporate economist at Navy Federal Credit Union, who says fewer job openings means less froth is being blown off by inflated listings for job openings, not that demand is dropping. So he says it does not show the demand is dropping, it just shows there's less froth. Interesting. Another one said that it shows that there may be increasing labor costs, and that might be why there's less jobs. Another report says that there may be losing momentum, suggesting that the labor market is not as strong as it once was before. My analysis is that it's a confusing number, and it basically shows that there's not that strength that we had there before. Is there anything that's particularly interesting in here? Well, we had 1.87 jobs for unemployed persons in the month of June. That's down for the month of May. That's very clear. Construction jobs are down. Also, wholesale retail are down. 4.2 million Americans quit their job in July, which is June, which is in this number as well. That's a little change from the month before, but the measure of voluntary jobs is unchanged as well. Layoffs slightly dropped in the month of June across the board. So really unclear analysis. Friday is when the job creation numbers release. The job creation number is going to be released, and you know what everyone who's going to try to manipulate the number, like the President of the United States who did last time, is going to say it's a great number. There's a lot of analysis when it comes to that Friday number, but what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow on Mornings LA live on air, I'll have the latest on that new jobless claims number. The reason why this is so important is, of course, for your benefits. Your benefits are going up a lot. How much? Let's go over the analysis starting right now. Your benefits are going up the largest amount of a generation. Why? Because inflation has not peaked. Let's go over the latest details across the board. It starts back in the month of July, around July 13th, 14th, and 15th, when 3 numbers were released over 3 consecutive days: the CPI, the PPI, and the retail sales. What did we learn in those 3 days? We first learned that the CPI had not peaked. Then the next day, the producer price index, which is wholesale sales, had not peaked as well. Then the day after that, the retail sales showed it still went up. What does it mean for you? It means that the indications that inflation has not peaked. What has happened since then, and what do we know today as well? First, let's go into that CPI specifically. The CPI, which is a major benchmark for inflation used by the Federal Reserve, suggests that it has not yet peaked, and that CPI is coming in again for the month of July, around August 10th. What did we see last month? 8.6% in the month of May. It surged out of control to 9.1% in the month of June, the highest print since 1981. Out of control inflation. The number coming in for July is arriving around August 10th. So we're going to watch that number. Big news for your benefits. Why? Because inflation goes up, your benefits go up a lot. So we have around August 10th the repeat of the 3 benchmarks: the CPI, then we have the next day the PPI, then the day after that the retail sales. These are all at the highest levels since 1981. Some analysts are trying to get ahead of the story today and say that the story is that inflation has peaked. I don't believe it has peaked at all. I don't see any indication that inflation has peaked. And they're using gasoline as the reason to say inflation has peaked. Let's go into your benefits. What's happening with your benefits? Your benefits are going up a lot, approximately $5,000 more per year. You, if you're on SSA, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. So let's go over now the analysis now that you know that inflation has not peaked. Then we'll go over the your benefits, and then we'll go over the calculation. We're trying to determine whether inflation's peaked, and there's no indication whatsoever that inflation's peaked. There are a lot of inflationary benchmarks we can have: CPI, PPI, retail sales once a month. That's coming in around August 10th. The PCE released last Friday, hideously reliable. So reliable because it comes in between the CPI number. It was out of control, the highest number since the 1980s. So that number's last Friday. And immediately today, Tuesday, which is not less than 3 days later, analysts are trying to say inflation's peaked. Did you see Friday's data? Did you see Friday's data? There's no indication of inflation's peaked. So, what does this mean for your benefits? Your benefits are going up a lot. Why? Let's do the analysis right now. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA. It's determined by another number. That number is the CPI-W. It's a subsection of the CPI we just went over. It's released once a month. But only 3 months of the CPI-W determines your COLA, and hence your raise of your benefits. Those 3 months are the month of July, released in August, the month of August, released in September, and the month of September, released in October. Yes, the first of those 3 months is going to come in less than 8 days from now. 8 days from now, approximately August 10th, when we see that CPI-W. So we have to hope that inflation is right now for these 3 months where it was for June, and either where it is, it goes higher, does not go lower, because if that happens, you get the biggest lift of your generation, of your lifetime, for your benefits. Now let's go over the calculation across the board. First, whose benefits are going up? Your benefits. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, all of your benefits. If you're starting benefits, if you're already on benefits. Number 2, automatic, yes. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. However you get your benefits checks. Number 3, $5,000. No, some people more, some people less. Depends on how much your existing benefits are. Automatic, yes. The same percentage increase? Absolutely. You'll all get the same percentage increase of your benefits across the board. This is incredible great news. We got a big week ahead of us, and we're just getting started. This week, we'll have the latest details on the labor numbers coming in tomorrow. Friday, we have those job creation numbers. It's not one of my favorite benchmarks because a lot of people manipulate the story when it's ever released. It's data, but people still try to manipulate it. And then we'll have more corporate earnings tonight on Evenings LA. Plus, we have new housing data coming in just shortly. Plus, the latest details on your money. But this, my friends, is why you have to get a 4 stimulus check. These 4 stimulus checks done by the President of the United States back in the month of March are huge. Viewers have been getting them ever since. You qualify. About $100,000. You qualify. Go get it. Become a member under this video's channel right now. Let's go over all these incredible sums of money, starting right now. First, where did it come from? It's approximately $100,000 done by executive action from the President of the United States in the month of March. Viewers have been getting ever since. You're going to meet in just a second one viewer who got 80 checks from this channel. That's the value of membership. Again, it's about $100,000 done by executive action from the President of the United States, a series of different checks. Approximately $100,000. I'll show you how to get those checks in just a second. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, go get it as well. And if you've gotten money before from this channel, get this money additionally on top of that. It's incredible sums of money. How do you get it? Step 1, become a member. Go under this video right now and join the channel. Join the hundreds that join daily. Welcome to all the wonderful new members that have joined in the last 24 hours. Welcome to all the existing members who have renewed for membership again. You want to become a member and stay a member. Members on this channel have now been members for nearly 20 months. Also, congratulations to all the existing members who upgraded as well from Purple Hawk to Purple Power in the last 24 hours. One of the great benefits of becoming a member is those worksheets. Is that singular or plural? Is that worksheets? Is those worksheets? I'll say plural. It's a PDF, so it's singular, but that PDF has multiple pages in it. So grammar police, where are you? Let's go over those incredible worksheets. They are in the membership newsletter delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Down on the third line is these worksheets. It's a PDF. You can print it out from your phone, your computer, or download it and take notes on a separate piece of paper. It's about 8 pages in length, and let's go over the latest details we know about these worksheets and these elements starting right now. The first page, inflation. What do we know so far? We know that inflation will get that major read, that major data, in about 8 days from now, when the CPI for the month of July, PPI for the month of July, retail sales for the month of July are released. The most reliable data before that came in last Friday. The PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, surged out of control, highest level since the 1980s. What do we also know about inflation? Inflation has not peaked, and because of that, your benefits are going up a lot. Finally, the third thing we know about inflation today, some analysts are trying to claim that it has peaked because gasoline prices, at least in the United States, have gone down. I see no indication that inflation has peaked. Recession. Let's go over to recession. Recession was confirmed, or at least the elements of it confirmed, by the Department of Labor one Thursday ago. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have been posted by the U.S. economy. A recession is an economic term. It has only one definition. It means 2 consecutive negative quarters of GDP growth. It's a negative growth, loss, a downward spiral of GDP over 2 consecutive quarters. That was posted by the Department of Labor last Thursday. Next, labor. Those jobless claims numbers are coming in tomorrow. Surging, I believe it will. I believe it'll go up to about 260. We're hovering about 255 again. We went from 260 down to 255. I believe it'll go up to 260. We have those JOLTS numbers released today. Job openings are surging, but it's not particularly a very clear number. It's a confusing data point. Very, very confusing because a lot of people can analyze it differently. And the Federal Reserve, this is a breaking news story. I forgot to put this in earlier. Thank goodness for our worksheets. Keeps us on top of our toes. There's a new report out that says when you're talking about the Federal Reserve, Wall Street has not embedded the risk of more severe rate hikes. I'm not surprised by this report. I'll explain to you why, but let's first run the quote. Hedge fund manager Bill Ackman said today that the Federal Reserve will likely continue to hike, and I think rates are going to need to stay around 4% for the foreseeable future, 12 to 18 months. So I think in order to kill inflation, and that may take rates higher, the biggest risk to the markets is that people are not pricing that in. Do I agree? Absolutely. Talked about this yesterday on this channel. The Federal Reserve does not mean in the month of August. They're off. Then they're back in the month of September. I believe they're going to do a 75 basis point increase again, like they did just a week ago for the month of July. Wall Street doesn't think that. No less than 30% of Wall Street analysts agree with me. So they're not betting in more rate hikes. In fact, as soon as the last rate hike was announced, they were really saying, that's the end of rate hikes. You're not assessing risk well. You don't assess risk well if you immediately think that everything is rose-colored glasses and the fun times are here to stay. I don't think it's fun times with Jay Powell. Jump in the live chat. Do you think Jay Powell is just lots of fun? Post in the live chat if you think Jay Powell is just lots of fun. How much fun is Jay Powell? Finish the sentence and write in the live chat. I know you got some humor for me on this one. Let's go to the next page of this LALATE worksheet. Jay Powell's amount is much fun as, this is like the $12,000, $25,000 pyramid. Here we go. It's just a stimulus. The second page of our worksheets is this incredible table that has been the big payout for viewers. Why? It helps you keep track of when you apply for items, stimulus, and when you got paid. It's a table. All this stuff is proprietary. You're only going to see this on LALATE. It doesn't exist anywhere else. This is why this is the number 3 most watched financial channel, spanning quickly and zooming to number 2. You keep track of the dates you applied, the dates you were paid, the months you were paid for, and the types of things you applied for, and also your context. One viewer was taking notes on this sheet, but she forgot to keep track of the sheet. She put it away and didn't look at it. Well, 2 Thursdays ago, she got that email from her state. She's in Florida. And it said, ma'am, you've been approved for your mortgage. Great news. She got approved for Check B for her mortgage, but the news story gets better. She was approved for 18 months of checks. Wow, congratulations. 18 months of her mortgage she was approved for. Folks, that's not $10,000. That's tens of thousands of dollars. The story gets even better than that. She also applied for Check B for not just her mortgage, but also her utilities. 4 utilities plus a mortgage, that's approximately 5 checks. 5 checks over 18 months, that is 80 to 100 checks. Congratulations, that incredible viewer. You can do that as well. 80 to 100 checks because she listens to the channel, she became a member, and she applied for check B. We have another viewer, Spelly, who's in all the live chats, and he applied for check A. He got it. He also applied for check C. He got several months of it. He has a great message. He applied for check A. He didn't cross his T or dot his I the way they wanted it. And they said, do it another time. He did it another time. He crossed it and dotted again, and he got approved. He says, stay with it. Stay with it, because it's a form, and sometimes the form needs to be done a different way. I love that. Words of encouragement. If you have a success story, post in the live chat right now. This stimulus, what do we know about that? We're watching those inflationary numbers. Pension benefits are going up a lot based upon what we see so far. 6 stimulus, gasoline prices, and 7 stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness. We'll have the latest details on that on evenings tonight. For the gasoline, it's important to understand that the gasoline story gets very, very interesting tomorrow. Why? On Wednesday, August 3rd, OPEC Plus meets. That's a consortium of oil-producing countries. And they will meet to determine their production agreement. They agree upon how much gasoline to produce in each of their respective countries. They don't do it unless they have a collective vote and they agree upon it. Will they increase production? Will they decrease production? Will they keep production where it is? Remember, the same production or less increases the price of gasoline. Increase in production lowers the price of gasoline. My projection, they're not going to increase production. They're going to keep it the same level. Meantime, the President of the United States' own policy, which is not really policy, but it's what he thinks it is, the release of the strategic reserves of 1 million barrels is about to expire, or has expired, because it's only for 6 months. More about this tonight on Evenings LALATE in prime time. Meantime, in the big second half, we're going to go over all those incredible checks. You deserve them. How do you get them? Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, stay this big second half as we go over all these incredible checks. Plus, we'll be looking at what this market's telling us and why guidance for third quarter is so important. That guidance for third quarter is hideously important because we need understanding of where that financial cliff is coming. I'll go over the analysis of this in the big second half. For now, become a member, and I'll see you back in 60 seconds as the breaking news continues on a big day for August. But first, here's a little bit about the community page as Afternoons LALATE continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a big second half of Afternoons LA from the shores of Santa Monica, California. The excitement continues tonight on Evenings LA as we look at more corporate earnings coming in after the bell. The latest details on that, and plus that guidance downward or upward for the third quarter. Why it's so critical, that's coming up in this big second half. Plus, we'll have a preview of tomorrow's unemployment numbers, and we'll have a look at those inflationary numbers and how it impacts your money across the board. It's a big show, and we're just getting started. We have a lot to go over in today's recording. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, good afternoon. Those four stimulus checks are incredible, and let's go over what you need to know about them, starting right now. Back in the month of March, the President of the United States did a series of executive actions, and the series of executive actions established these checks. Viewers at the time said, LA, find me some checks, and I did. And these are huge, incredible, about $100,000. I had two focuses at the time. One, big checks. Two, broad eligibility. And we got both of them. Thank goodness. First, I wanted big checks. We got a long recession ahead of us. A recession is not a week or a month or 2 months or a year. It's a long time. And that is why it's important to have big checks. Number two, I wanted broad eligibility. And that we found. Single individual, 75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get it as well. All right, let's go over all those incredible checks, starting right now. I give you a lettering system, and the very first check on this channel is called a Check A. It is a $6,500 to $12,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. How do you get that incredible check? What is it? Step one, let's look at it. It's a $6,500 to $12,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, 75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you do it? Go under this video, join the channel, become a member. Welcome to the nearly 100 new members yesterday. Welcome to the returning members. Many over 18 months have been members of this channel. You want to become a member and stay a member. Number three, welcome to all the members who upgraded from Purple Hawk to Purple Power. Become a member. Go under this channel and join the channel. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. Go down the membership newsletter, you find Check A. There it is. Click the link and go in and apply. That's what Spelly got, the weatherizing grand check. We're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check B. Incredible. This is what that viewer from Florida did to get 80 checks. $15,000 to $80,000. It's a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, 75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you do this? Step one, go under the video, become a member. Join the channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well. You need to subscribe. Number two, get that incredible membership newsletter and go down to you find Check B. There it is. Click the link. You go right in and apply. Incredible. And that's the one the viewer got 80 checks on. Look how we've done so far. 80,000 there, 12,000 here. That is $100,000 of checks to start. We're not getting done there yet. We're going to go get Check C. Check C is huge for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, more. Countless viewers have gotten $150,000. A lot of average of $45,000. Many have gotten $2,000 over 12 months. MSC. How do you get this? Step one, go under this video, become a member. Then get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go down to you find Check C. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. This channel's been around since spring of 2020, and since that time, we've gotten viewers $50 million because we know how to find the money and we know how to get the money as a family. And you also inspire one another as well. If you're in the live chat, post your success story, whether it's $1 or $10, and also send it to me on private message on Facebook so I'll feature it on air. Here's some of the inspirational stories for you. Do you want these numbers for rent? Then go get Check C. From Nisi, Richard, Nancy, Mark, and Elizabeth, go get Check C. Look at these numbers for utilities. Wow, Angela, Mark, Nancy. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 over for utilities as well. That same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years. Let's look at the combinations of checks. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Niece is at $23,000. She went to $50,000. Mark was at $32,000. He went to $166,000. He went to $50,000 on this graphic. Then he went to $100,000. Then he got Check B, and he got $66,000. And here's Lorraine. She went from $105 to $150. Commonality among Lorraine, Johnny, Margaret, Nisi is Mark is the same. One, they're in all the live chats. You got to watch the videos. There's so much going on a regular basis. There's so much going on. For example, we had that shocker about the mortgage rates yesterday. We had the shocker the day before about the labor. You can't miss a recording because you see how much how much is in every dense recording, and it doesn't get repeated. You can't miss the breaking news across the board. It impacts your money left and right. Number two, they keep on getting checks. They keep on getting checks. You want to keep on doing that. So good money today, good money tomorrow. Margaret had a meeting with her utility company, got another check. Niecy's always getting new checks as well. What do you need to do? Let's recap. Step one, go under this video, subscribe. You're watching LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel. America expanding dramatically to number 2. You see the changes already happening. Number 1, you see the live show, which started as a test show on this channel. It was originally a test show. Then it went to 2 hours. Then it went to 4. Now it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jump on that live show at any time to have the latest update about your money. And now you have 2 tickers under the video that has the latest details on the stocks and the latest details on your money. Number 2, LALATE.com, the website that started it all no less than 20 years ago, has been revamped. 4 new stories published overnight about your money, inflation, recession, housing, labor, everything you need to know. Number 3, coming to this channel in just a few days is the brand new LA2 and LA3. Get ready for that excitement. I am as well. And if you have a commentary about what you want to see on this channel, well, send it to me on Facebook. Private messages. One viewer said, I want that crypto show back. No one's better than you with crypto. Well, that's really kind. I will bring it back to you. I appreciate that kindness across the board. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, go under this video and become a member. And step 3, stay throughout the second half as we have more money to go over in this big second half starting right now. The biggest week that there was continues left and right. Tomorrow, when we have those labor numbers released, why are those labor numbers so critical? One of the reasons the labor numbers are so critical is it gives a reality check to the people who try to rose-color glass the economy. When you rose-color glass the economy, what are you doing? You're saying that things are better than they're not based upon vague expressions. The labor market's strong. Labor market's not strong when you have 230,000 new jobless claims per week. A week, they're new. 260,000 new jobless claims a week is the highest number of 2022. That is not a strong labor market. The JOLTS number released today is a confusing number. That's exactly where people want to rose color the economy will jump to a number. Friday's number is the number of non-farm payroll job creation numbers. And ultimately, despite what the number is, you can always find some part of the number to pull it one way and pull it another way. But when you look at labor, it's just one number. You can't really pull it. It just is a simple number. And if it's 240 or higher, if it's 230 or higher, it's not a strong labor market. Next, we're going to see more corporate earnings, but you and I understand why we're looking for that guidance so importantly. Guidance for the rest of the year. We want guidance for the rest of the year to give us indication of what our value of our money is going to be later this year. Those corporations know things better than you and I do. And that guidance started no less than 2 weeks ago. When Walmart guided down for the rest of this year, they report corporate earnings in just a few weeks. Guidance for the rest of the year did come in today from some companies who said that it may remain strong, like oil and Uber. But we want to see more guidance across the board for more sectors for the rest of the year. We saw the retail mall operators today saying that they believe that the retail lease space will continue to drop as more retailers open space, but we did not get a lot of guidance for the rest of this year. Why is this so important? Because it gives us an indication of where that financial cliff is and where your money is. Remember, it's one thing to know the data, it's another thing to know the prediction. And you and I have been really good on doing predictions. Last year, I was the only financial analyst saying that we're going to have elevated inflation. I put it at 8%, and it was not going to be temporary, I said. I was the only one who said it in spring of last year. It came in at 8% in December, and as of right now, it's still 8%, and it's still not temporary, obviously, because it's 6 months later, 7 months later, 8 months later. Number 2, I said we're going to post a recession in spring of last year, spring of this year, February this year. We have. I said that labor is going to go to 260,000 jobs, 260,000 unemployed claims per week. We did. So one of the things that we now need to see, and this is the hardest data point to predict, and obviously you don't see it coming out of my mouth yet, is where the economy heads thereafter. We need to see what parts of the economy will go into full recession before other parts. Will be geographical. Will certain parts of the United States go first into recession more dramatically than others? Will certain industries buffer the recession better than others? Will tech survive it better than others? Will retail take the bigger hit? We don't have a lot of indication just yet. That's why we want that guidance. Remember, when we're seeing second quarter earnings right now coming in, this is earnings through the month of June. We need to get guidance year end, and there's not always a lot of guidance for some companies. That's why the data on this channel is so important across the board. Meantime, I want to keep it positive with you, and I want to thank you for all your positivity. You understand that the big money available for you is available right now. You understand that there's a financial cliff coming. That financial cliff we don't lose focus on. I put it as September. That a financial cliff is less than 30 days away. When that financial cliff comes, Americans are going to have a rude awakening if they were waiting for something to help them, and that help is not there. We don't know what they're particularly waiting for because we're not them. It may be they're waiting for lower prices of gasoline. It may be they're waiting for unemployment stimulus, which doesn't exist. They may be waiting for inflation to come down, which is not coming down. They may be waiting for more indication that there is a recession. Is not a recession. There is a recession. And ultimately, we can't know what they want. All we have to understand is that they will be here. They will be here looking for the money that's available for you right now. So you don't wait to get the money right now. You get it before the situation turns from where it is to something worse. Not a new statement for me. I've been saying that since the month of February. And now today we're in a recession. Now today we have an elevated inflation that has not yet peaked. Now today we have corporate earnings that continue to weaken. And now today we have the jobless claims continue to grow. That's why I care so much about you. Get these incredible sums of money, and tonight I'll see you on Evenings LALATE from the shores of Santa Monica, California. You qualify for these incredible sums of money. Go get them today. And finally, my last message to you is the recession. One of the most confusing things at issue when looking at economy is when people take a defined term and try to manipulate it. A recession is a defined economic term. It has only one meaning: 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, consecutive. We've had that. So we're done. We are in a recession. So the next question, now that we know the recession, is when does it impact you? When does it impact me? When does it impact our town? When does it impact our community? This is where it gets more confusing. In the last recession, it went geographically, meaning the East Coast went into recession 6 months before the West Coast. And 6 months coming out of the recession, the East Coast came out of the recession earlier first, and the West Coast came out of the recession 6 months later. Next, the recession hit different industries in different magnitudes. Tech was not really hit that badly, whereas housing hit really badly at the time, and retail hit horribly at the time. So we don't know if the disparity will not just be geographic, but also industry by industry. Finally, be patient when understanding that things filter through the economy. When you're dealing with recession, it takes its impact slowly and meanders through the economy. It hits the following way. Certain things don't work as the way they used to work before. And companies say we're not making the type of profits we made before. So we're going to have to cut costs by laying people off. That's why when I'm reporting the corporate earnings, I want to see the top and bottom beat. I don't want to see the revenue beat, because if the earnings are missing dramatically, you know what's going to happen. They're going to lay people off. And they lay people off, guess what happens? Yeah, a lot of things snowball out from there. So that's why we have so much data to watch on a regular basis on this channel. That's why I care so much about you. And that's why you stay with me throughout the day. Coming up next is Evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Plus, jump into the live stream if you're not watching as well. The news continues throughout the day on this channel with the housing market, unemployment, forced stimulus, and more. It's LALATE from the shores of Santa Monica, California. God bless. Stay informed, stay focused, become a member. Go right in this video and become a member. And I'll see you tonight on Evenings LALATE. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay here, as always, as the news continues on LALATE.